Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to TSP TV and thank you very much for joining us today for this particular episode on prison preps. Yeah, that's right, we're going to do a little bit of prison preps. So some of you may be familiar with the fact that I do have a prison ramen playlist on my channel and also have quite a lot of TSP exclusive prison style recipes, and prison ramen is something I believe is a very important or useful survival skill to possess. Certainly if you are a prepper or a survivalist, or even maybe someone who just enjoys going out hiking or camping, prison ramen recipes and prison style techniques to be able to cook without pots, pans, kitchens, or even a flame certainly is something I consider is a life skill, and you can learn an awful lot of things when you are incarcerated, especially when you have time on your hands, be it in a jail, be it in prison, or even in an immigration prison, as I spent my time behind bars in, as well as county jail in Los Angeles County, where I did get sent to Supermax at the Pitches correctional facility just north of the city, very close to the Six Flags amusement park down there in the LA County. And I did so because I got picked up for having a bar fight and got charged with violent crimes for assault and got sent to Supermax, and as a result of being in the United States of America quite a considerable amount of years longer than I should have been allowed to have stayed. I ended up getting sent to jail and then eventually handed over to ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, where they detained me before sending me back to England, at which point I then sort of turned around, got a few bucks together and relocated to Canada, where I've been for the last 8 years. But I did spend a few weeks and months locked up, and I did learn a thing or two, including prison recipes. And what I am going to show you today is how to make prism wine, aka a pruno. And I was actually say I'm going to show you it. I'm not going to show you it because inadvertently I did kind of delete a couple of videos that I had in preparation for this video, showing you the process of making pruno, because it is something you do need to kind of give a little bit of time in order for it to kind of the process to complete. So as I said, I inadvertently lost some of the footage in some deleting accidents, in which I kind of showed you the first stages of preparation of how to make pruno. Now I've got myself here a pickle jar, which I've obviously eaten the pickles, cleaned out, washed and rinsed, and I've already started the process of pruno, and I'm not sure if you can see or not. Let me try and find the camera. There is a little bit of a bulge on the lid. Now every now and then you have to do what is known as burping your pruno. So what is fermenting, can you hear that? So a lot of gas does build up, and you're not exactly that sort of chemistry minded to tell you why, but we do have a little bit of a fermentation. There we go. I didn't want to get it exploding over the camera there, but we do got a bit of a fermentation process going on. Oh my goodness, it smells sort of vile, but almost appealing. So there is a fermentation process going on, which I was about to say in an attempt to tell you 3 times. So how I started that out, I had some strawberries that were starting to go a little bit overripe that I picked up from a local grocery store. So what I did is I chopped them up and sort of squished them up, tossed them in the bottom of the jar. You can kind of see where the line is there, and it was just about as far as that line. And then I chucked a whole bunch of sugar on the top of those strawberries, and then just covered them in water. And I've kind of left them in a jar outside, sort of somewhere a little bit warm and slightly humid, out by the heater, not the heater, out by the furnace rather. And I left that for a couple of days, and then the second, but this is how I kind of inadvertently deleted it. I was recording at the second part of the video because it was starting to ferment, and you started to get that little bit of smell like it was starting to go bad, which is the sign of the fermentation. So what I did at that point was I added a slice of bread. I don't know if you can kind of see that. I don't want to spill anything on the studio. And I almost did, but I've got a slice of bread, not a loaf of bread, a single slice of bread which I broke up, added to the fermenting strawberries. I don't know if you can kind of see some of the colour coming out of the strawberry there in the jar, and you can kind of see the little bit of floating stuff there. So the reason we've used the bread, because that's our yeast. That is going to provide our yeast, and that is going to help turn the fermented fruit, the sugars, into alcohol, and eventually this shit will get you pretty fucked up. But what I'm going to do today is just add a little bit more sugar. So something I've got out of my pantry that I did grab over the time that I was at work in a fully stocked restaurant is some sugar packages. I'm going to just put this down out of sight. Actually, you know what I could do? Let's turn that round. Look at that. Nicely done, tea. Although not exactly. I'm trying to get the coat hanger out of the way. That over there so you can kind of see what I'm doing in the studio. I almost realised I could have stopped the video and relocated the camera, but hey, what the hell, we're doing it in real time. So you can see there's no real filtration. So all I'm going to do is just add a shitload more sugar on top of that bread. And then we're going to put the lid back on. And already I've got sugar all over the thrift store studio there. So that is, as I said, all I'm going to do, just throw a whole bunch of these sugar packets in. Now you could also, if you didn't have sugar packets, use candy, and a popular candy that they use in jail to make pruno. And the pruno that I tasted was made with Jolly Rancher candy. If you sort of smash it up in a sandwich bag or a Ziploc bag into little pieces and put that in your jar, it will work as your sugar source as well as a little bit of flavoring and coloring. Now this does kind of have a little sort of strawberry flavor, but it also kind of has a little bit of a sort of, I guess, rotten fruit flavor as well, going to not flavor, kind of smells and aromas at the moment. But I'm kind of hoping with the strawberries it might give us a little bit of a better taste, because our fruit sources that we used to use when we were locked up to make pruno was either a banana skin or the raisins from your Raisin Bran cereal, or orange peel. And you'd kind of put the banana peel or the orange peel in the bottom of your baggie, because you wouldn't have a glass jar in jail like this. This is why it's going to be a little bit easier to make. Almost looks like moonshine. But you'd then use your raisins from your Raisin Bran, your orange peel and your banana peel as your fruit, and you'd add your Jolly Ranchers to those pieces of fruit with some water, and then try and keep it somewhere as hot as possible. But it's usually kind of made in a sandwich bag or a garbage bag, and is usually sort of stored in a toilet wine. So we're not going as far as to be that authentic with our prison pruno. This is very much the similar kind of way to make it, just with some things. I mean, I don't think you're going to be lucky enough to get fresh strawberries in prison, but I did use those as my fruit source, and any fruit will suffice. Even an apple core will work. I'm guessing, maybe I'm thinking in the future I might get some exotic fruits like mangoes or papayas, and see if we have any sort of success making sort of delicious pruno. But this is all we've done, guys, is just added the sugar to our pruno jar, and we will let that kind of dissolve in ferment over a period of time. And as I said, I did have a couple of stages planned of this video where you saw me kind of like chopping up and squishing the strawberries and adding the sugar, but hopefully you guys are alert and awake and smart enough to be able to figure out how to kind of chop up some fruit and add some sugar and put it into a glass jar with a little bit of water. And as I said, I just put a little bit of water to start it off, just to the bottom, and just to cover the fruit in sugar, so it would help it kind of sort of ferment a little bit. And all we're doing now is add in more sugar, so that will hopefully give it a higher alcohol content. So let's turn you back here best I can, and that's about it, guys. Don't know if you can see the sugar. Yeah, there's the camera there on the top. So we're going to put the lid back on our prison pruno as we've burped it. Now, something I'll probably have to do every day is twist and let a little bit of the gas out and put the lid back on. So I'm going to give it a good shake, and that is our pruno. Now, what we will probably do at some point in time is give during the live shows, if or not I continue to do live shows, because I'm getting a lot of issues with audio to the point where it's like making me not want to make videos anymore, because it seems the only sort of comments or feedback I do get from anybody is the audio is too low. Now, I assure you guys, I do not go out of my way to record videos and then edit them with low volume just so that I get comments that tell me that the volume is low. It is a little bit frustrating. It is something I believe may or may not be algorithmic behavior, shadow banning, passive censorship. And I've said a few times before that maybe if you make a video that's too quiet for people to hear, then the people that are trying to hear it might not bother watching it in the end, if you know what I mean. And thus you're kind of censoring the message. And it does seem that some content in some videos I put out do seem to be subjected to this audio issue more than others. So kind of why I'm putting out a prison pruno recipe video is to sort of maybe trigger the algorithm and see if there are any audio issues with this, as opposed to stuff that they may not want me talking about. You feel what I'm saying, guys? You must understand that we do live in a day and age of total censorship and total control, where the powers to be are really trying to control what the masses see, hear and believe in. The removal of independent thought in rational thinking is something that is being removed from society as a result of shadow banning and passive censorship and all these things that social media and big internet kind of corporations are guilty of playing out. But anyway, guys, that is Prison Preps, how to make prison pruno or prison wine. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Maybe it might be something you'll give yourself a little bit of an experimentation with and try out yourself. And as I said, we will kind of update the prison pruno progress throughout the live streams over the coming weeks. If or not we do overcome the audio issues remains to be seen. But as I said, guys, I do my best to try and present the best video that I possibly can. I'm not exactly going to be winning Oscars or awards or special effects or screenplay honors for these shit video productions, but I do want to try and make them enjoyable for the handful of people that do take the time to watch them. But as I said, guys, some things are out of my control. I'm doing everything I can possibly. As I said, I've got a microphone right here that is just fractions, just inches away from my mouth, and if I don't use the microphone, I'm very rarely more than a foot or two away from the microphone. So these devices are designed to survey us and keep an eye on us and be always watching and always listening, and our microphones on our phones are extremely sensitive. So the fact that there are audio issues on my uploads just leads me to believe that it is part of the powers to be rather than anything to do with my setup or technology this side of the camera, because again, when I watch it in the editing stages, the audio seems fine. It's just once it goes through the processing, that is where the problems come from. But like I said, guys, this was a prison prep video. This was how to make pruno, and at some point in the not so distant future we will be taste testing this. So if you do have any comments other than the fact that the audio is low, should that be the case, I would be gladly willing to listen, read and reply to those. In the meantime, guys, thanks for watching. This was a ship video production for TSP TV. We'll catch you in the next one. Until then, keep it thrifty and remember, be excellent to one another.